What is going on? I'm zmot. First, wanted to start the video out by saying a huge thank you to all those players who sent me messages saying you've thrown my name into the creator boost button. That is a huge thanks for that. Even if you're free to play, I just appreciate the fact that you've thought enough to throw my name in there. It means a lot to me. And moving right along, I have got 6 engineers loaded, 2 medics. Because of this whole time zone change thing, I am able to do my videos on any one of my accounts, which is kind of nice, but it's kind of annoying at the same time because all the events now start at midnight my time, which now means that if I'm going to do early sneak peek helpful videos for things like War Factory, I'm going to have to stay up ridiculously late, which is not exactly what people are recommending right now for the whole stay healthy, stay safe, so all that fun stuff. Nonetheless, we're going to see just how far we can get into Dr. T using all engineers. I think it's going to be fairly far because this whole extra GBE tribe, cheap barrage tribe, makes things incredibly strong and taking down hugely icy bases. If you mix in these ridiculously strong grenadiers, you can clear your map so incredibly easy. So maybe we'll just show how I can fail after I've said that. But nonetheless, we're going to drop all of our engineer dudes. And I found you can basically throw 6 barrages and then drop your troops. And when it comes to bases that have things like grapplers or doom cannons or shock blasters, 3 barrages. I don't even count the GBE. I don't even scout. You just throw barrages and then drop your troops. Right now is a very good time to be an all-offensive player. It is not a good time to be a defensive player because they're just getting crushed. These are such fun offensive tribes. Operation attacks, 5 accounts are smoking complex and Javanese and things like that. So lots and lots of fun things to do. Now, engineers aren't super fun. They're not super enjoyable. But if you check the patch notes, there is more proto-troops coming. They have referenced that there's a CryoBombardier coming, and that, as a prototype troop, would be absolutely so crazy op, and I'm excited for it. I like op. Mix in regular bombardiers, throwing their regular old man ammunition, then throw in some cryo-bombardiers. And now, I assume cryo-bombardiers would just be freezing all of the buildings with a bomb, so I can't tell you what they look like, I can't tell you what they do, but it sounds to me like they're going to be throwing some sort of icy snowballs or something like that, which would freeze buildings based on cryoneers anyways. So if you mix the 2 technologies, you could have a ridiculously strong and fun army to use. So very curious to see how that goes. Dr. T, stage 4, these turrets back here are frustrating. I mean, they don't go anywhere. They're just stuck there, and that is the downside of the turret, obviously. But on the plus side, we've got 6 engineers, I should say, just hucking them like crazy. So far, our medics are just kind of hanging around, so probably we'll drop those down to 7, or 1 boat of medics, I should say, and see if that helps us get any further. Having instant training is so helpful. I know that on my previous videos, I don't tend to have instant training on all accounts. Now, one thing to be aware of is you cannot save troop loadouts with prototypes on them still. That's if they're going to have more prototype troops, I think that needs to be fixed. That's one of those things that really isn't a huge deal, but it would be very nice to have. So I'm just going to throw all sorts of barrages, and you can see I've still got tons of GBE, and this is still unboosted. So barrage being cheap is just absolutely silly, and I enjoy it, to say the least. We are using Everspark because I do not have troop health, and I find that using Everspark compared to Brick means that you end up keeping your troops alive a little bit longer. With troop health, you just throw a bullet out there and he does all the rest, but without troop health, I prefer Sparky on things like this. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, really. It doesn't make a huge difference, but especially with Grenadiers, I find that throwing out Everspark instead of Bullet, a lot of people have moved towards Bullet, but without Troop Health, I find that throwing Sparky out manages to keep them alive a little bit better. Obviously, right now, with the extra, what are those things called? The extra speedy Grenadiers, whatever you do is going to work. Grenadiers so ridiculously strong right now. If you have not tried Grenadiers and you have that tribe, just please boost it. It is ridiculously fun. Now with this account, I think in the neighborhood of, I have 5 troop damage statues, which puts me at 168% full boost. So that puts me at what, 84%? I don't want to do math right now. Anyways, lots and lots of damage. So these turrets are fairly wimpy, but on the plus side, extra troop damage should help boost them up a little bit. Hopefully we can do all 7 stages. I kind of assume it's possible. Let's just check the math here because I'm not feeling super confident. There we go. Yay, math skills for the win. Now, one other thing that I have sent along to Supercell is right now, when you finish the event, the banner stays there. And now I did not finish Hammerman Attacks yesterday. I tried like one time and then gave up. So I have not seen that firsthand myself, but hopefully we'll see that very soon, thanks to our super strong engineers that are standing here throwing out turrets like crazy people. Now I'm going to throw some more barrages out because, I mean, this is silly just how many barrages we can actually throw at this point. So let's throw a smoke on top of these guys, because apparently they don't like... By the way, engineers target the exact same way that Zookas do. So they're going to target the most damaged building exactly the same way that our friendly neighborhood Zookas do. And as a result, they were totally ignoring that flamethrower, getting roasted by it, even though it was the closest building. So just be aware that Zookas target the most damaged, as do engineers. You'll see, actually, you know what? They just made a liar. Okay, these guys on the left here, that closest building is that machine gun. So I think I'm not a liar at this point, but their range is not super duper long, unfortunately. So we're stuck just waiting and grinding. The turrets also do not have a ton of health, do not do a ton of damage. So now that we've got some max level buildings, we're just watching them get melted, which is not super enjoyable or fun. So hopefully we can get through stage 6 and maybe we can smoke our engineers to the back and do a little bit of damage, or maybe we can mix in some grenadiers or something. We'll wait and see if we can pass stage 6 first, because we've got a bit of time left. I'm just not super confident that we're going to get through all of this. Critters will definitely help as our engineers head left towards those machine guns. Could use some GBE to get the heck away. So, by the way, they did release, I believe it was an optional update for Android. If you were having problems getting into your Supercell ID accounts, please do check the App Store or the Play Store or whatever it's called, depending on your device, because there were some fixes put out which should help life get a little bit better. I know there's some very frustrated people with the update because they just simply couldn't get into their accounts. And if you can't get into your accounts, of course you're going to be frustrated. Now, these engineers do not throw terribly often, as you can see here. So they're only throwing, I believe, every like 7.6 seconds at them. Actually, maybe a little bit faster, because I've got level 22 engineers, I believe. But our engineers, we're down to 1, 2, 3 of them. So I'm about to pull out here, and we'll just retreat. Forget this. Probably, maybe could take that down using all engineers, but it's just not worth the pain and suffering. We'll mix in at least 1 or 2 grenadiers, and the grenadiers can do the heavy lifting for our engineers. Now, one thing that people noticed is that engineers just take up the entire boat, which is a little bit ridiculous, but I suppose with social distancing and all that, it's not the worst idea. So good on them for staying a meter away from anyone else, I suppose. At least they've got some medics out there. It was discussed on the yesterday, or I guess that's actually the Discords, not the Reddits. Now, I'm going to have to up my game. That's one of the things that I realized, is that no longer having the early time zone account means that I've got to up my game, because obviously I had a little bit of an advantage on other people by having the early time zone thing going on. So now that I don't have that, I'm going to have to up my game for sure. And I just said the words up my game about 6 times, which is not how you up your game. So if you have any suggestions or thoughts or ideas on how I can make my channel better, more interesting, more awesomer, please do let me know, because it's a strange time. I mean, they just changed all the time zones, which drastically gives the advantage to people in Europe, but at the same time, it makes sense, because too often there were events happening. The event would start and Supercell would be sleeping. So at this point, the events start when Supercell is online. 8 a.m. UTC time is around when Supercell starts working. I'm not sure exactly the conversion to Finland, but it's far, far better than it was before. And I kind of assume that was part of the reason. That's just me guessing at this point, but it's definitely nice to have Supercell online when events start, because in the event Mega Crab is broken or wrong, they're at least available to fix it. There's been too many times where events have started and it's like 3 a.m. in Finland, and then we've got to wait 6 hours for them to wake up and come online and all that sort of fun stuff. So nonetheless, it's frustrating for those of us in North America, because events start at midnight, and that just means that your spawn rates overnight are not nearly as good. So I know that the VP pushing community is not super duper happy, because it favors one time zone as opposed to everyone having a fair shot at it. But hopefully these kind of things are taken into account, and Supercell makes all things Boom Beach better. So far, the update, I mean, this engineer is not a great proto-troop to showcase. I think they've redone all the proto-troops, being the Rainmakers and the Lasertrons and all of that stuff. And if that's the case, I'm a little bit nervous, because they chose the most popular part of Boom Beach to redo. I mean, everyone loves the proto-troops, so if suddenly things are a little bit different with the proto-troops, that makes me a little bit nervous. But at the same time, hopefully it's done in a great way, and I can't wait for this CryoBombardier to come out, because I want to have old man frozen stuff, like Santa Claus just freezing everything. Someone did post a picture, I think, I'm not sure if that was a Photoshop or not, of the Bombardier looking all frozen-like. So frozen-like, I don't mean Elsa and Anna and all of those lovely ladies. Anyways, let's get our Grenadiers and our Engineers out here. The Engineers have a fair amount of health. Honestly, I would have assumed they would have had a longer range and been super, super low health, but we shall see just how well these dudes do. I mean, that medic is keeping... Nope, it's not going to happen. So these Engineers not doing super, super well. I've got to say, I would love it if they would have been able to throw their turrets, like, say, if the cannon's range is 6, have them throw the turrets 6 and have the cannon land halfway, if that makes any sense. But maybe this is the first iteration of some proto-troops. Maybe they're just trying some other things out, mixing in some temporary gunboat abilities. Gonna be curious to see if other proto-troops throw, like, speed serum or... what else is there? Any of the other temporary gunboat abilities, basically. Let's throw one big shock on all of that stuff. And, I mean, Grenadiers. These speedy Grenadiers should be able to take this down. Obviously, we would be able to do more damage and more better if we had just gone straight Gren Medic, but just trying to find a way to mix in Engineers. And as you saw there, they're all dead. So their range is just not enough to keep them alive. And those turrets don't have enough health. So hopefully maybe they get a little bit of a tweak. Supercell has been fairly good about buffing things. For example, they buffed the Lasertrons. They nerfed Mr. Bullet. So hopefully they get a little bit of a tweak in the future, because right now they don't feel super useful. And I think that adding some range to them would be the easiest way to make them useful without making them super overpowered. I mean, not everything in Boom Beach has to be super overpowered, but it would be nice if they had a little bit more of a use. Even if it was just to take some edge off of our other troops by throwing the turrets out front. Having them throw the turrets the full length to the defense just doesn't make sense to me. So if you're going to be the super smart engineer, you're probably going to get some sort of launching mechanism and throw it further or something like that. But let's just, I mean, I'd love to force quit right now, but then you'd see the fact that my wife is texting me in the background or something like that. So at this point, we're just going to quickly try to finish up this. Let me know if the video looks like it is either blurry or super sharp on my screen. I can't figure out which one. Setting it up to record when I'm not at home. And by the way, I've been working at home now for almost 11 years. So this whole social isolation thing, working from home, I'm excelling at it. I got to say, this is perfect for me and our company. Everyone works on laptops, and we've got Microsoft Teams set up, and I'm on Slack and Discord and all that sort of stuff. So communication with friends and relatives and all that stuff going fairly well. Hopefully, you guys are all staying happy and safe and healthy and all of those fun things, because the world is a crazy, crazy place right now, and lots and lots of people with some anxiety issues and stuff like that. So please say hi in the comments. Let me know how you're doing, and especially you longtime commenters, would love to hear from you, hear how things are going in your neck of the woods. I'm going to just switch to just proper Gren Medic, get rid of these engineers, because we have just shown that I don't think you could take it down. Maybe if you're full boost or something like that, but unboosted, it's not going down. We're going to get Bullet back into the fray. Also, the fray, as Mr. Glasgow Kiss, I almost said Glasgow Smile, said the fray is a great, great band who sings, I can't remember the name of their most popular song, but they're a band that last time I said Into the Fray, I was reminded of that very quickly, and I am about to get... Smoking Grenadiers right now is very, very difficult, because your hero just cannot keep up, and as a result, you end up with Grenadiers running way, way ahead and then having to wait for Bullet to get out front, which is not super awesome. But I think we should be okay now that our medics have caught up a little bit. My shock's a little bit late, but we're just going to keep clearing now. You'll notice I've got one boat of Bombardiers. I have had the best success when throwing one boat of Bombardiers in with my Grenadiers, because I find that they just... Anytime you get that pesky HQ that's got a little bit too big of a shield or something like that, I found that it just gets you over the hump of that. And now that my medics are standing out front getting shot in the face, bad things are about to happen. I am fairly adequate, is probably the best way to put it, with Grenadiers. Just right now not going super duper well, because I've not used them for Dr. T of the tropical variety in forever, as you can see by the fact that I'm losing troops like crazy. I did not use nearly the number of barrages this time, and that was definitely my mistake here. So please remember, use as many barrages as you possibly can, clear the entire map, and then drop your troops, and then very, very good things will happen. Dr. T, Stage 7, using Gren Medic, not something you've seen on this channel in a long, long time, thanks to the new time zone restrictions. Very curious to hear if you guys like the new time zone stuff, don't like the new time zone stuff. Like I said, I'm at my in-laws' house, and I'm waiting for a delivery, and we're in the sticks, far, far from anyone, so no delivery, and we're 20 minutes late. Not sure why I mentioned that, probably because I've just looked out the window. Now, here's the problem. Dr. T's Tropical Stage 7, we're done, and it's just not going away, and this banner takes up a fair amount of space. So Supercell, if you're watching, please get rid of that banner once the event is done. Like someone on my Discord mentioned, if Dr. T Stage 7 equals finished, then remove banner. Let's do one quick all Grenadier medic attack, just because I want to show you what it's like to smoke Grenadiers to the back of a base, because it is absolutely ridiculous. Now, as you can see, I have just been randomly throwing barrages, 2 barrages, and then drop my troops. Now, smoking Grenadiers is crazy. I mean, it is literally insane to smoke them. Typically, I used to do where I would drop Bullet outside of the smoke, but right now it's just not possible, because this stuff, missed my flare, which means that we're just going to go absolutely crazy. We're going to let our Grenadiers get hit by that flamethrower once, just to get our medics running. Otherwise, the medics are not going to get anywhere near where they need to go. And now I'm going to move back over into here. That way my Grenadiers hopefully don't throw back at Bullet or back at my, what are those things called? Bombardiers. it's a problem. Like, your grenadiers start hucking backwards towards your troops very, very quickly, and the fact that I managed to blow up only one of my bombardiers is probably a new record for me, because smoking grenadiers right now is so much of a challenge, and I highly recommend it, because if you can get them to the back of the base, you can crush, not that you can't crush it from the front, but smoking any kind of troop that has extra speed I find to be incredibly satisfying. So if you can smoke a 400% speed grenadier, then you can smoke Zukas or warriors or whatever it might be. So that's all for me. Hopefully everything is going well for you. Again, thank you for everyone who threw my name in their creator code slot. And I got to find a balance between reminding you to put it in because it expires after 7 days, and not annoying the crap out of people, because I don't want to be like whoring myself out there. Can I say that on the internet? Nonetheless, that is all for me. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get my supply chest before we log out, because need that sweet intel. I kind of assume that War Factory does not give intel, but that one can hope. It was not in the change notes, but every time they make a change, I just hope they accidentally add intel to War Factory, because that would be the best change in the history of Boom Beach, I think. A little bit of an overstatement there. Nonetheless, that's all for me. I am zmot. Hopefully this finds you well, and I shall talk to you soon. As always, thanks for coming in. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. More importantly, throw a comment in the field below. Let me know how you're doing. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. I'm zmot. Peace.